Hi, Crickellectuals. Welcome to another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 secrets behind Pakistan's recent success and why we think Pakistan will keep on winning in the year 2022, given that these 5 things will stay in place. So number 1, Babar is the primary voice in all decision-making about the team. That's really important because that means that team management is not pressuring Babar to make certain choices that he does not feel comfortable with or he cannot own. And as a captain, if you cannot own your team and own the decisions that you're making in the planning stage of or before a game, then you're less likely to be confident on the field when the game is happening. So we have seen that Babar has been left alone per se, and Ramiz Raja has been very vocal about why that is his approach. He believes in the captain having full control. And given that Ramiz is still the chairman and will remain so for a while or in the foreseeable future, Babar will continue to have the primary voice in all of the key decision-making around the Pakistan team. So this is why we think Pakistan will keep winning, because Babar, he is in a winning rhythm. He knows the players he wants. He is a thinking brain. He likes to strategize. He likes to create a plan of action for each team, for each game. So if that continues and that is not meddled with by coaches and the team management too much, then we'll continue to see Pakistan succeeding in the year 2022. Secret number 2 that should also continue to happen and Pakistan will continue to win, and that is the relationship between the players. This team feels different than some of the previous teams when we had many superstars in the team. In this team, we've had a lot of individual players who've created and produced match-winning innings, but that has not gotten into their heads per se. They have still demonstrated humility, and they've still demonstrated team spirit, and they've still not tried to make themselves the main star of the show and main player of the team. The entire team has constantly showcased this sense of community, both during games and outside of the game settings. They hang out, they seem to be having fun, they seem to trust one another, they're not talking bad about each other in the media, there are no quarrels happening in the dressing room. So things are looking good. And if things continue to look like this, then we'll continue to keep winning. Now, the third reason why we think Pakistan will keep winning in the year 2022 is that Pakistan has a lot of home games in the year 2022. We have the home games against Australia, England, New Zealand, if all of those teams choose to come. But that's a good sign. Team Pakistan and Pakistanis are hungry for cricket to be happening inside Pakistan. And because players are very familiar with the local conditions, we believe Pakistan has a really good chance of winning against teams the likes of Australia and New Zealand. So we're really looking forward to those competitions. Secret number 4 to Pakistan's success, and this is a big one and slightly different than what we've seen in Pakistani teams of the past, and that is every player chipping in. In the last few months, the games that we've seen, starting from the World Cup, there was a different player of the match in every game, both during the World Cup games, but also in Bangladesh. So this is a really good sign. And not all of those players who were player of the match were on their way out. For example, we had Asif Ali, Hassan Ali, Muhammad Rizwan, Babar Azam, Shaheen Shah Afridi, just one player after another. Everyone has been chipping in. Everyone has been doing their part. And so many players have earned players of the matches, which means many players have single-handedly contributed to different games, which is a great sign for Team Pakistan that we have so many players who can be match winners on their day. And that is why we think Pakistan is going to keep winning. And the most beautiful thing about this is when another player steps in, performs really well, and helps the team win a match, Babar Azam, the team management, and the entire team really lifts that person up and celebrates them. So that's been a really good thing to see. And it relates back to that point about team culture and camaraderie that is so evident in the Pakistani team currently. And related to this also is players talking about knowing their roles. We keep hearing players discuss what they think their role is, and they keep citing that is one of the reasons why they go in and they win, because everybody enters the cricket ground knowing exactly what is expected of them and knowing exactly what the country and the team needs them to do. This kind of clarity is really important, and we need this clarity to continue. And if this clarity continues, we believe Pakistan is going to keep on winning. And last but not least, humility. I mentioned this briefly in a previous point. This team is not about one superstar whom everybody is scared of, whom everybody is looking up to, and whose shadow everybody is in. In this team, individuals are regularly celebrated, and so is the unit as a whole. And both of those things are valuable. We should have individual stars. We should celebrate individual stars. We should recognize them, and we should compensate them. But at the same time, we should remember that no single player is bigger than the team or the country. And that is more evident in this team than than ever before. I'm thinking about the teams in the past where a few superstars constantly dominated the national dialogue around Pakistan cricket team. Everybody would always be talking about them, and we almost would fall into this worship of these people, and as a consequence would only expect them to win us games, and everybody else would either be in their shadow or kind of just get a pass. Like nobody else is expecting all the other team members to actually pull their weight. And that was one of the reasons why Pakistan was so unpredictable, because we always only relied on one or two key players. But this team is different, and the reason why they're different is because their egos are in check. Whatever the reason, whether they're religious, whether they're praying together all the time, whatever the case may be, whether it's Rizwan's influence or whatnot, the point being that this sort of mindset, the mental space of remembering that you are not bigger than the game, you are not bigger than the team or the country, is what keeps this team grounded and keeps them winning. Their end goal, Rizwan said at the recent awards, is always to win as a team. That's the point. And Babar's philosophy I really like on this too. He's repeated this a couple of times, but he said, when you go enter the field, the message is very clear. Don't come back. Don't come back. Go and finish the game. Don't leave it on somebody else. Take responsibility and do the best you can. And when you have this sort of a bigger goal that is framed for everybody, that the end goal is for the team to win, they themselves are not going to think that they're the greatest thing in the dressing room, that they're the greatest thing on the field. And that is the fifth and final secret to Pakistan's success and why we think Pakistan's going to keep winning in the year 2022. And amen to that. If you're new here, I'm Jay. I'm the co-host of the Crickellectuals Podcast, and we talk about everything related to Pakistan cricket. So if you love Pakistan cricket and you like a good intellectual conversation, you want to subscribe to this channel and listen to our podcast too on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Thank you for your love and support, and we'll see you next time. This is your host, Jay, signing out. Peace.